Hello, beautiful witches. This is Dawn. Thank you so much for stopping by. I wanted to talk to you today about identity and something that is I call emotional entanglement or emotional enmeshment. That's what my teacher calls it. And basically, it's examining our relationship with other people. And how you know you are enmeshed emotionally with another person is how do you feel? If they bother you, if they get you upset, if they, the irritating individual that's always getting under your skin, you are emotionally enmeshed with that person. If somebody comes along and they're saying things to you that are, would normally be upsetting, but they're not, you are not emotionally enmeshed with that person. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. Whether you're enmeshed with somebody or entangled, you emotionally entangled with them. So you have a relationship that's healthy. You're close to each other, and if this is a romantic relationship, then your hands would touch. Okay. So if you were emotionally entangled or enmeshed with that other person, it would look more like this. And looking at your fingers, if you did this, you look down at your fingers, it's hard to tell which hand is which because they're intermingled and intertangled and enmeshed with each other. So it's hard to separate them. You're pulling them apart and they don't come apart very easily. Whereas if they're like this, or if you're a close friend, you can easily back off, cool down, and get your bearings and come back. There's that space there between you where you can step away from that person, you can get away from that person and feel okay about it. But when you're enmeshed, when your emotions are entangled with that other person, it becomes very difficult to get away from them and make that space. Okay? Identity is very important, especially to a child who's growing up, is in a family. We all grow up with people. Somebody is taking care of us. So when you're growing up in that, you become emotionally entangled with the other members of your family. That is necessary. It's part of being a part of a family. Okay, it's part of keeping the family balanced. But when you reach adolescence, especially in adolescence, it is so important for you to start developing your own identity. A lot of us do not get that instruction, so we remain enmeshed with our family and we can't get away. We feel obligated to be there for them. We feel obligated to receive their negative toxic energy. We feel obligated to be there to support them even though they are hurting us. It's important for us as an adult to find our own individual identity and separate not only from our family, but as adults we started meshing with other people too, because that's what we were taught when we were growing up. That's what we do as children with our family. But it's time to separate and learn who you are without them, okay? So how would you do that? So here is the exercise, and it's very simple. You might be familiar with cord cutting. I actually like this exercise far better than just cord cutting. So cord cutting is basically you get into a meditative state and you visualize and feel any cords you have that are connected to other people. And then you visualize a knife, or you could use your hand and karate chop it and cut it off. And then that connection to that other person disintegrates. It's gone. I think it's Christopher Penzak. He talks about suggesting that you send love down into that cord that you just cut, so that there's love and healing going to that other person, which is cool. I like that. But with this exercise, it's a little bit different, especially if you start with your parents, which I highly, highly suggest you start with your parents. Pick one parent or the other. Pick the one that you feel more emotionally upset about. They can get under your skin a little bit easier than maybe the other parent. So you want to start with them. Visualize yourself standing. Visualize your higher self to, I always put my higher self to the left of me. And that's your protection, and that's your anchor to who you are as a spiritual being, okay? So then visualize the parent that you feel enmeshed with or entangled with. Visualize them sitting down. And this is very important because, especially for me, like with my foster father, I visualize him sitting down because he's such this presence, this intense presence about him. And I find it very difficult to communicate with him. Now he's dead, okay? He's passed over. That doesn't mean everything is hunky-dory. I am still, to a certain degree, I still feel enmeshed with him. It's so much better since I've been working on it. But I still feel it. So I visualize him sitting down and me standing so that I am in control. I am empowered in this situation, okay? That way I feel more comfortable and I can conduct this, this exercise successfully, okay? So you visualize them sitting down, you're standing, and then you feel where in your body gets activated. Where do you feel it in your body when you feel emotional about that other person? When they've said something to you that gets you upset, when they're trying to push your buttons, where do you feel it in your body? I usually feel it in my solar plexus. It's my power center. That makes sense. And then I visualize that as a cord that goes out to the other person and is plugged in. That's important. It's plugged in. So I'm not cutting the cord. I am unplugging the cord. I am saying to my foster father, I no longer need you as a parent. I am separating myself by unplugging my power cord from you and plugging it into my higher self. So the plug goes into my higher self because I want to be guided. I want to be that communication and that relationship to be with my higher self, not with my foster father. I am unplugging that cord. So what I'm trying to say is my control and power over my life is being removed from that person. I needed him as a parent, as a caretaker, to protect me and get me to clothing and food and school and all of that. But I don't need him anymore. I don't need him as a parent anymore. So I need to unplug that control and give it to my higher self. And then I hug my higher self. Okay? And I feel myself being integrated and merged into my higher self. And okay. So that is the exercise. And for me, it's much more powerful than just cutting cords because I feel like I'm interacting with that other person. I'm seeing them sitting down. I have control and I am making a very powerful decision to take my power away from them that I've been feeding them and I've been giving them and making myself vulnerable to them. I'm taking that away. So, and the understanding is they can do the same thing. They don't have to feel plugged into me. They don't have to feel like they have to control me. And just a word of warning, when you do this with your parent, it does not mean you don't want to be with them in a relationship anymore. I have had students who said, I'm really having a hard time with this because I love my parents. It has nothing to do with not loving your parents. It's taking the position of power and control over you away. You don't need that anymore. I had one student who did this and her relationship with her mother completely changed. She now approached her mother as a grown-up. and they were able to have a grown-up relationship after this. And it's because she changed. All right. So I'll leave that there. I hope you try this, and please let me know if you do try this and how it worked out for you. I feel it's very powerful and empowering, and you're not leaving them helpless. They can heal themselves if they're open to it. That healing will come to them, and sometimes you unplugging from them will trigger that healing. Okay, that's all I have. I hope this helps you. Please write this down in your journal, which I'm going to be doing this again. I've done it several times, and do this with other people in your life that you feel enmeshed with, that you feel trigger you, and unplug from them. Take that power away for them to trigger you. All right, so this can be done on anybody that you feel enmeshed with. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for your comments. Do something today that makes you feel good and brings you joy. I love you all, and until next time, blessed be.